Hi everyone, thanks for joining today's call. Our first agenda item is just to take a look at the current spring tickets and to see if there's any outstanding questions and things like that. So we did some code review on 4 tickets. They are related to demographic forms and changes on the module and APK, and also the handler. And then another tickets for search and download patients. So those are closed now. And so Simon also made some progress on 386, which is the error resolution UI, that to make sure that when there's no corresponding registration link, it should not be appear, so that it will not continue to keep spinning and cause confusions. That one is ready for code review. And then there are the dispensary form is also ready for pre-testing. So Nicholas, maybe you can have a CDM team to help us for making sure that it meets the your team expectation for the dispensary form.
Yes, and I think we are currently we'll plan for testing next week.
Okay.
We hope to have the clinicians available. I'll be there. Tor will be there. Dr. Martin had also requested to be there for the testing. So I think we'll really try to document everything when we're ready. Just tentatively, when do you think we should do the testing? When should we anticipate or expect the testing to be?
Well, Kiri, could I just chip in, Martin here? I'm testing the form by myself, so you guys go ahead and do your own testing, okay?
Thank you, Martin. I think the last time I talked to Dr. Kamano, there was mention of you being there, but I think we'll just do it on our own and give
yes,
feedback.
I mean, I'll send my feedback, and if you need me for any of that stuff, you can tell me, okay?
Yes.
But again, you want to do it early because Kamano is saying she needs the forms finalized, and that's what's going to get in the way of getting the forms finalized. So if you guys can do it Monday or Tuesday, that will make a big difference, okay?
I think we'll plan for Tuesday because Monday is usually a busy day with clinic. That's usually very heavy for the clinicians. So I think we'll plan to do Tuesday morning.
Sounds good.
Or Tuesday.
Okay.
Right. And then the other tickets are in progress. So Ruth, I know that you spent some time with Sheila to go through the device management tickets. I just wonder if you have any updates to share with the team on those.
Either we are a bit busy, so we're not able to go through the DMS, but I shared with her the SOP.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to find time for that.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
So yeah, so maybe when you maybe next Monday you guys can get together, and then so just to go through the SOP and also use the guide and to confirm those tickets are working or still the issues still remain. I think that would be like a good good start for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
So any other questions in terms of for the current spring ticket?
Yeah, Ed, can I talk about 384?
Okay.
It is on the one on pre-testing. Before I took it there by mistake. I'm done working on the ticket, and I find that for it to be tested, it's a back-end thing, and it may require a technical person to do the testing. So I don't know. Can I just take it directly to code review?
Yeah. Let me see.
Because I've done my testing myself, and I'm satisfied the way it works.
Okay. Yeah. So let me do one testing today, and then I'll let you know. You just put it in the code review. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. For you to do the testing, you will require to have some data on the queue with problems. I think I can work with you after the call to set up a test, and then then
Sure,
we move
sure.
on.
Yeah. So like some of them, like they don't have the they did not get link, and then because like they just simply create the provider, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sure.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thanks. Awesome. Any other comments or questions for current sprint? If not, we will move to the next agenda item, which is an update on the expanded cohort and data synchronizations that we have so far. And it's already the update's already documented on the mUzima wiki. So this is what we have from after talking to OpenMRS community in the design call this Wednesday. So I think next step is really I think on the OpenMRS side, the changes is relatively clear, and they feel good about our suggestions. And so I think the next step is to list out what actual changes on the OpenMRS side, and then we can have Wisha to help with working on some of those tickets. However, on the mUzima side, I think we need to decide what our first pass should be. Do we want to keep it simple, or we really want to take care of like everything, all the possible scenarios, things like that? And Marty, I don't know if you got a chance to think through further, because I know that it was a very late call for you and Simon that day. So my personal preference, I just want to share with the team, is that I hope that we can keep it simple for the first pass. That we're not going to do any data wipeout, even though for the cohort member become inactive, for the reasons of we don't need to worry about in case that particular cohort member, he or she might have some incomplete or complete form data that haven't been synced to the server, and we don't need to worry about those use cases. The workaround is to have a feature to let the user to display only the active member on inactive member on the list. So that's what I have in mind. And then in terms of like downloading the background, what's the options of downloading the Delta to the device? I agree with Martin's suggestions about doing it on the background with compressed algorithm. That means this is new to me too. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's just like compressing the Delta information, the Delta data, and it would get synced silently in the background to the local to your mobile phone system file. And then when the total, the whole compressed file got downloaded, it would uncompress and populate it to the local repository. So that is one of the my personal preference, and I just want to share this with you guys, and then also to get you guys feedback. What's your view on those? And then or maybe you have something you prefer something different. And I think I really want to have this concrete and this we need to make the final decision so that we can list out the specs before Monday, so we can present with Barry and Richard when we talk to them. Anyone? Martin and Simon?
No, Edda, I'm here. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm hoping to do is make some comments on. I'm allowed to edit the
Yes.
wiki page.
Yes, you are. Yes.
So what I was going to do is, I'll just append my comments on the wiki page, in outlining my thoughts, and because there's just so many branching points.
Yes.
But at least we need to figure out what the version 1 should look like. So it's one of the items I want to work on this weekend.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So let me just make my comments with the document itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now let me.
Okay.
Could I just add something?
Yes.
In the document you have the workflow. Okay. Is that the existing workflow or is that the suggested workflow?
On the bottom is the suggested workflow, and the top is the current workflow.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, shouldn't really be changing the current workflow that much, right? Yeah. I mean, like that part we shouldn't worry too much about, right?
That's correct. Like only like the bottom part to go through the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. And then items for discussions, are these things that were for the last meeting, or are these things that are?
I think these items, yeah, those like already discussed for the past week.
Okay.
And I just don't want to remove them because I was like kind of like as a reference point that we actually consider those or not. Yeah, it's kind of like more like helping us to remember why we make certain decisions.
Okay. Yeah. So and then I'm looking at possible scenarios and conditions. Yeah. So where is the new workflow?
The new workflow, we haven't really designed the new workflow because we haven't decided what we want to have for the first version.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so I'll make my comments on this document. I've just changed a couple of things in the document. Sure. But yeah, so give me till the weekend and I'll
sure.
I'll make okay.
Sounds good. Simon, how about you?
I don't have any new ideas yet.
Okay.
I think I'll share this if I come across.
Sure. And I think this is also important to have CDM team, LAG team input as well, as this is you guys are going to be the one who use it the most, and we hope that you can share your input with us so that we're not missing your important contributions on here.
Thank you, Eda. I think I'll also need to. I think we've discussed this before, and I've just been following the discussion, so I need a little bit just to get maybe Dr. Kamano's input and then bring it forward from a layman's perspective before, so that it's put in the technical language that is being used here. But thank you. I'm following it.
Yeah, Kirui, it's essentially what we need from the CDM team and also from the LAC team is, the number of people in the cohort will keep changing, okay, based on the definitions for the cohort. How do you want it, synchronized on the device? Do you want it to happen without the provider knowing? Do you want the provider to be informed that they're new people, and how do you want to deal with the changes in the people in the cohort from a user perspective? I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, because we can do it in the background, and so you look at your device. One day someone is there, the next day they are not. Okay. Would like to be notified that hey, this person is no longer part of this cohort. Do you want them to be removed from the device? You might decide as CDM, we never want to remove anyone. So just knowing what options CDM would like around some of those things from a user standpoint would help. Does that help? Am I talking to myself?
No, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I think that is okay, Martin, and I think we shall discuss with the team and bring forward our suggestion.
Yeah. Could we get a timeline maybe? That way we so we are talking to these folks on Monday evening. I think would it be possible for the individuals to discuss it at least early next week?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. So, I think it would be important, everyone just, even like you have some thought or question, just put on a wiki page, and so that we can keep track on those. And then we can consider when we go through, the final suggestion of the proposed workflow, and that would be really, really helpful that we're not missing you guys' inputs, because the worst thing is we go ahead and make some assumption and decisions, but then you guys later realize that, what you would like to have, you find it useful, is not included. So this is very important for you guys to chime in, and even though you might not think that your contribution is very important, but actually it is. Okay. Cool.
That's fine, Eda.
Awesome. So the next agenda item is implementation update. So Derek, do you want to share the LAC update?
Yeah. Pertaining LAC, I would say I've been following up the retraining of the remaining 4 community units. I've done 2 remaining 2, and I'm also upgrading the devices for it's called Sugoi. Tuigoin, not Sugoi, Tuigoin and Lesero. So those particular devices, I'll be able to give them out next week. After the upgrade, what I'm planning to do is to conduct a massive, massive field work. That is to make sure that we also have numbers in terms of both the linkage and retention form, because the LAC team feels like maybe we have a limited number of forms already on prod, and they understand that this is because of one issues, because the CHWs are not being paid, have not been paid to date. That is one, and 2, it's like the CHWs also first, they were not clear exactly about where do they get these particular patients that are supposed to be following in terms of linking, and again those particular ones that they are supposed to retain. So after next week, we'll be going back in the field to make sure that we have a number of forms coming in. So far, I would say so good. Hoping that the exercise will go on well. Thanks. Maybe just a condition pertaining the costing questionnaire. Everything is going on well. We are recruiting patients and make sure that the forms are coming into production server and not in production server, sorry, in the VM server as required. Thanks.
Right. So yeah, that's great. So are you part of the Big Pig project, Derek?
Partly, I hope I will, but so far no communication yet. Hoping that they'll be using mUzima such that we can be able to join them, or else maybe my seniors can talk much about that. Okay. I would appreciate to be part of them, Eda.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Derek, I think we need to have a conversation at some point. So just look for me early next week. Okay?
Okay. Thanks. Part of this week or maybe next week?
I think this week is pretty much done. So it should
okay,
be
Monday you continue.
Sounds good. Now, going back to the...
Okay.
The good news. Is there any surprise or any blocker at this point?
Sorry, pardon, I didn't get the last bit.
Are there any problems we need to be aware of?
So far, I won't say there's no major blocker. The issue of the errors on prod, I approached Minsha and he promised to be sorting that in the course of this week. And he just communicated to me yesterday that he was quite very busy. He didn't work on them as agreed that he'd work on them on Thursday, which was yesterday. I think I'll communicate to him and find out maybe if he's worked on them today. So nothing major blocker, I would say.
Okay, fair enough. Just make sure you communicate with your team that the issues of the errors at this point rest on the system admins and not on the mUzima team, because I think those things are getting confused.
Okay, thank you. I think both Savai and the other LAC team together with the data manager are in the picture. Thanks.
Yes, I'm talking about communicating to your leadership, the LAC leadership.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think it's, yeah, I agree. It's very important for you to inform, the LAC team leadership that, things are working well. The only small blocker right now is more on the process setup that the system administration team is the one who needs to resolve them, because we don't want to project to give others the impression that it's really the mUzima teams being the blockers. If it is, we need to know, and then we'll resolve those things that on our court.
Yes, Anna.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So CDM.
Well, for CDM, Lawrence had sent the update for CDM. Currently is in Pinyala, working with the devices there where we had some issues. And from the update, so far from next week, we shall be expecting some screening forms coming in. And he has already also sent 66 forms successfully, though he had some challenges which he forwarded to Simon Savai. So hopefully, we're going forward, we shall be moving well. Thank you.
Do you know if that error, did they share the log?
Well, based on the mail he has shared with Simon, I don't know if Simon can tell us more about that. Simon?
Simon?
Yeah, he was not quite clear. He mentioned that he had a problem uploading a registration form. There was some error being thrown. So I asked him whether he was using the latest APK and form, or whether he was using the correct form with the correct APK. I couldn't quite tell what his problem was, because at least if I was even able to see the error, the logs from the device, I could help. So what I want him to do is to capture the log and send it to me.
Oh, so it sounds like so Lawrence informed Simon there was an error thrown when trying to upload the complete form to the server, but he needs to provide the log, the error log, so that Simon can troubleshoot.
Yeah, because he mentioned he's not even sure whether it's related to network problems or it's the device. So I couldn't help that much.
Okay. So,
yeah, I also checked. He also mentioned to me the same, but I thought it was more of a network error. It's like there was a lost connection while he was uploading it. So I tried it myself, and it was okay. So just like Savai advised him to produce the logs, I think we'll wait for the logs and see. Unfortunately, he's out of office.
I have a couple of comments. Okay. One is problems with connection. We need to do a better job at messaging that, right, or catching it, right? Is that correct?
Okay.
Right? Hello, Sava, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Don't you think, basically if there's an error which we are not catching, we should be able to catch it related to connection problems. So basically just better messaging if the connection gets lost.
Yeah, if the connection, we shouldn't expect an exception.
Yes. Okay, so if an exception is appearing, let's just make sure it's addressed. Okay, if that's the error. Okay. The second thing, which again we've mentioned multiple times, is if there are issues, tickets need to be created for them, because it's very difficult to have the developers working on ad hoc requests while they have a whole bunch of priorities. So I'm not sure if tickets were created for these items, and I sent an email in this regard, but just as a general operating principle, it's a good thing to create tickets when these things happen, and then assigning the ticket to the appropriate person. That way they can be prioritized. Any comments about that? From the implementers especially?
Just a comment. I think I'll follow up to ensure, especially from the CDM, in case there are any issues, they're put on the tickets for, as you mentioned, for prioritization.
Thanks, Kiroi.
Yeah. So maybe maybe we can share some minimum or suggested information when you file the ticket, so that it's always helpful to include those. As because we understand some users, they might just say, oh, it's not working, but it'll be helpful to have at least like to include some minimal information for us to help. Yeah, we'll share that minimum information.
Yes.
For the ticket.
Yeah, and to add what Eda is saying, is a good way teams could work is have a designated person who can make the tickets for you, so that not everyone has to have the exact expertise of creating the tickets and make sure all the information is there. But you just know if there's a ticket from CDM, you can go explain it to that person. They can help you create the ticket, unless you're going to learn the skill set yourself. But at least each team should have someone who knows how to do it very well.
Yeah, so ideally it would work best that, for example, people like Derek, Kenneth, and Lawrence, because they're more experienced and technical when compared to other users, and it would be helpful they work with the users to collect the information, the minimum requirements, so that they can help to file the ticket on the user's behalf. That would reduce a lot of saying that, oh, it's too scary to file a ticket, because some users, they don't even have a Jira account, they don't even know how to get started, and we don't want to discourage them to report any unusual behavior. The more they report, the better the application, the apps is going to become. So would that make more sense, that to have points of person like Kenneth, Lawrence, and Derek to be the point of person to file tickets on behalf of the users, and then they will be the one who make sure that to collect the minimal information, so that it's easy for the mUzima team to triage the ticket. Are you guys there?
Yes, we're here. I think it's agreeable with me. I think your suggestions are, and I think for CDM, I think that's the channel we'll use.
Right. Yeah, I think that would help so much, and also reduce the burden on Simon. Sometimes it's difficult for him to even start to investigate the issue without certain, minimum information. Anyway, this is a very good use case that he's aware of there's an issue when uploading, an exception thrown when uploading the form data, but he could not move forward with providing any solution because he doesn't have enough information, and we just don't want to give the impression as if like we are not taking action on resolving the issues. So I think maybe like this proposed workflow would help for making sure that sufficient information is collected, and then so that mUzima team can take actions in a timely manner, so that you guys can get a solution in a timely manner as well. Any comments or questions? Okay. If not, we can move to the next agenda item, which is the testing mUzima with OpenMRS 1.11.15. Simon has set it up on the cloud for that to do, and we will send out an email with the team who wish to help anyone who wish to help with testing that against the demo on the cloud. While we are waiting on the MPEF side, they still need to assign a public IP for us in order to move forward with that to testing against the real production data in a test environment. So maybe the first step is to test it on the cloud first, and then once MPEF side has the public IP assigned, and then we can do it against the test environment with production data, so that it will be more realistic at that point. And one comment I would like to make is that even though, let's say that everything works fine and all those things, I still think it would make sense just in case. I think it would make sense for us that we should have all the providers to sync their complete form data to the server before the actual MPEF upgrade, just in case there might be some incompatibility and things like that. I think that's important for us to remember as one of the to do before the actual upgrade. Since we haven't, we probably still like 1 or 2, maybe a couple of weeks from the actual thing happen. I just want to bring it to inform everyone to keep in mind in case that's what when MPEF is ready to upgrade, CDM and LAC teams should have the providers to sync their complete form data to the server before the actual upgrade happens, just in case. Any concerns or questions? Okay.
Just want to mention that the only remaining thing on setting up the test server is the concept gold. So I remember you sent a message requesting to have a copy.
Yes.
Did you get it?
No, I haven't got it yet. I think Augustine is just very swamped with so many things. I will ping him again.
Okay.
Yeah. I know, like, I have like so many other emails to him and his team to do on other things as well. Yeah, I'll ping him again. Awesome.
If you get it, I think you need to share with us so that we can I can put it on the test side.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, actually, I need that for my standalone as well. Yeah. Awesome. Any comment in terms of like testing mUzima with in OpenMRS 1.11.5? Okay. So those are the agenda items. Is there any other items anyone want to discuss or share?
Eda.
Yes, Martin?
Quick question. Did you all already discuss the inserting historical data into a form?
Oh, I sorry, I missed that part. Sorry about that. I missed that. I'm sorry, I totally missed that one. It's the first one. Yes, we haven't discussed yet. Yeah. So maybe yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I knew that I have one more thing to do, but I just skipped that for whatever reason. So right now, just want to give everyone's background that when we do our current version of like reminders, we only compare the data based on that particular form data. We're not comparing any historical data. As you know that this is just like a snapshot, but for most of the reminders, they usually would be like something like, oh, if you haven't had this for 6 months, please do this, or or vice versa, things like that. So that means we need to compare with the historical data. Currently, we are not capable of doing that. So I think that's why we want to have a discussion on this. And Simon and I had some discussion yesterday. That first thing is for the current setup, we only download the concepts that they are parsed from the form templates when they download it. So that means only selected concepts and observation are being downloaded to the local repo. It's likely that some of the historical data that we need to compare with, for this reminder, that is missing. So one workaround is that for the particular form, we can have some hidden field to include all those concepts need to be parsed, and also those observations need to be parsed that to be hidden in the form template, so that it will not appear on the form template itself. But by doing that, it would help to pass the correct required concept and observations to download in the local repo that can be used for later on for comparing with the historical data. That's one option. Another option is that I think is more clumsy, which is that to allow the users to download the concept on demand. And I think I'm not really like supporting for that option, but I just want to throw in there's another option. They can download concept and observation on demand. And that is one thing. So like for this part, I just want to hear from you guys that do you think these two options, I only can think of these two options. If you guys have other options that you have in mind, you can think of.
Yeah. Edna, I'm Martin here. One, I think this is obviously an important discussion. It strikes me that it's a type of discussion that has some significant design implications, okay? For which I this one win and some Bugwa to be on the call, okay? Or we need to get on a call in a dedicated fashion to deal with this. Just the whole concept, of doing decision support based on historical data is something that me and Sam have already been discussing and is going to help with, okay? And we're actually going to meet this weekend separately to design that piece, okay? I think it might help to involve Sam in that conversation. That way, basically, we do it in a little more comprehensive fashion.
Yes.
So how about let us take what you've discussed with Sam, with Simon, then the three of us can share what we come up with to the larger group.
Yeah, I think the reason I want just to throw in here is that whether we should continue to put in efforts in updating the APK, that it allowed us to compare the current encounter observations with the historical observation on the device, or for the reminder, or if we should invest these efforts on starting the formal notifications, through the notification, for the for the mobile decision support. Because right now we simply just prompt all these we so-called reminders on the form. Do we want to move these parts and put the energy and efforts that to revamp this and to make it in the more proper way of the decision support through the notification system? So I think like maybe it would be a good thing that when you guys discuss with Sam this weekend, just want to evaluate the effort. How much effort if we do the yeah.
Yeah, and my hope would be that Sam would do most of it because he has a vested interest.
Yes.
With masters in that side. Yeah. So we'll talk about just using historical data, populating a form, using it for decision support, how that decision support links with notification module, all that stuff.
Yes.
We'll talk about more
comprehensively. So the reason I wonder is like how much would that be like just like minimal effort if we just want to make some changes on the APK to allow to compare the current form data with the historical data and prompt the reminders. Is it like minimal? If it's minimal, I think it's okay for us to go ahead and do it, since the formal part, the more proper way might take a little bit more time because we have an urgency to get it done for CDM.
Yeah, let me just in the case of CDM, we were not actually supposed to be looking at historical data. So we'd already had this discussion a long time ago, and we said doing that comprehensively is actually quite a bit of work. So a reminder that was referring to a historical data, okay? We said basically it's just a notification that shows up saying, please check to see if creatinine was checked over 6 months ago. If not, consider opening, okay? So obviously, as new people have come along, they've kind of gone back to the same conversation we'd already had, okay? But what I don't want to do with this piece is just do a hack of it because it can get quite involved. And so we'd say we were not gonna, because I think it was 1 or 2 reminders, okay? And that's why I actually like when we come to a decision and we kind of how do I say, we close any further changes, because a lot of discussions happen on these forms before you can come to a conclusion. This particular case we'd already discussed, and we said we want to do this in a very systematic fashion. It's quite involved. For the couple of reminders that need historical data on this dispensary form, we are just going to kind of prompt them to say, hey, check to see if there's anything historical at this point.
Okay, so so I understand. Yeah, so for the CDM forms, we don't need to worry about for comparing with the historical data. We simply prompt them. You need to check with certain data 6 months ago to and then take this action. Things like that. It's more like a prompting suggestions.
Exactly. And just to confirm, Simon, I'm sure it was just 1 or 2 of them, right?
Yeah, there were 2 reminders.
Yes. So those ones we'd specifically spoken about before. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for right now, I would not worry too much about them. Just prompt them saying, as we've discussed. And then you and Sam need to sit down and talk a little bit more comprehensively about the historical data integration. Okay?
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. So if that's the case, we don't even need to worry about putting energy on getting something quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, I had just prompted a message like you're saying, and as per the discussion yesterday, we thought that would be a placeholder for now as we make the changes on the APK. So I think so far we are good.
Okay, excellent.
Great. Yay.
So the action item is on us. Either just ping me and Simon and Sam to ask us about the progress over the next week.
Sure.
Okay. Or let's have it as part of the Friday discussion next week.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're in good place now.
Okay. And then could I make one more point for LAC? Are the LAC people still there?
I think Derek dropped off.
Okay, so there's nobody from LAC?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Well, essentially, Raj wants to be notified anytime a new patient has joined a cohort, okay? And essentially what I want Derek to communicate with them, and actually Eda, you can even email them, is that we have to get the Delta thing working fast, just the basic version, before we can even send those notifications.
Oh, so they would like to receive notification when a new patient, join the cohort?
Yes, yes. So that was a separate discussion, and so it was like, well, can we do it through SMS or not? And we decided that we're just going to do it through mUzima. Yeah, but so it's essentially once we have the Delta stuff working, it should be very easy, to just put it also as a notification that hey, this new patient has been added to your cohort.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just write it down before I forget.
Yeah. Which a lot of times, if somebody is screened in the community and then they need to go to a clinic or they've been referred to a particular provider, the idea is that the provider should get a notification that there's a patient who has been referred to them or something to that effect. I can't remember the details of the LAC form itself to know if they specifically request for a provider or they specifically say which clinic someone should go to. But no, those are some of the features that the LAC team would need. Okay. Am I making sense?
Yeah. So I think I need to think about because it might need the provider to subscribe something. In order for us to, in order for the SMS gateway to know what trigger to send to who.
Yeah, we're not going to do it through the SMS gateway. We'll just do it through the notifications in mUzima.
Also, it's not SMS, okay?
No, I'm trying to avoid complicating things. So if we can do it through notifications, then we're fine. It's basically a notification of a change.
So I think it would be much simpler because any Delta change and then just prompt like a notification saying that, hey, change on your cohort, that's it.
Exactly. Or these new patients have been added to your list. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but you see, the cohort might not correspond to the patients the provider is responsible for. Okay. So anyway, Eda, we can have a separate discussion on how best to notify the provider responsible for a patient that the patient has joined their group. So for example, if everybody who's referred to their clinic, they should be notified about, then we can just set those notifications that way.
Okay. Oh, you mean like for the primary provider need to get notification?
So typically what happens is people are screened, let's say during a baraza or in the field, and then they get referred to either clinic or to a particular provider, okay? So being able to notify that person that, hey, this new patient who was screened in baraza was referred to you or to your clinic, okay? So we can just make sure that the cohort always reflects that, and then that gets covered. But if there's a situation where the cohort doesn't reflect that, it's almost like running a scheduled task that sends a notification. Okay.
Because I see what you mean, but I think we can only know. That means we need to. Yeah. Actually, it's good you bring this up because I think we did not really capture this information on the cohort design. I need to think a little bit further how this works because I think there's.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to have anything to do with the cohort. It could just be a scheduled query. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about it offline.
Okay. I think Derek is on now.
Yeah. Hi, Derek.
Hi, I'm fine. Sorry, I got a disconnection.
Yeah. No, we were just talking about Raj wanting to some notifications to be sent anytime there are some changes in somebody's cohort, and basically we wanted you to communicate with them that we are working on that piece, and you cannot get the notifications until the Delta cohort pieces are done. Okay, because they go hand in hand. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, as you communicate with the team, just share that with them.
So I'll communicate to the whole group on May. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Maybe Eda can send a draft email and include you, and you can add to it. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. I think maybe we can wrap this up and then we'll communicate through email.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.